White Bear Lake, Minnesota. Winter 2025 was still bitterly cold. But inside the light blue two-story home of the Amor family, everything always felt warm thanks to Nicole's laughter. She was 39, her brown hair tied up in a ponytail, her brown eyes sparkling with joy. She was a mother, a wife, and an Army Reserve nurse who brought light to everyone around her. Her husband, Joey, was a civil engineer. Their son, Owen, was a high school senior, and their daughter, Adeline, was in 4th grade. They were an ordinary, happy family, spending weekend afternoons tending vegetables in the small greenhouse Nicole had built herself. Nicole wasn't a career soldier. She enlisted in 2005 with the Minnesota National Guard as an automated logistics specialist, then transferred to the Army Reserve in 2006. She had deployed to Kuwait and Iraq in 2019. But this time in 2026, it was supposed to be her last. "Just 6 months, honey," she promised her family. "I'll be home before Owen graduates and before Adeline misses me too. Much." When the U.S. Iran war broke out at the end of February 2026, sparked by the death of Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei in a U.S. Israeli airstrike, Nicole was called up on emergency orders. Assigned to the 103rd Sustainment Command Expeditionary in Des Moines, Iowa, she was sent to Port Shuaiba, Kuwait, to support logistics for Operation Epic Fury. Her job combined nursing and logistics, distributing food, medicine, and providing medical care to hundreds of troops in the scorching desert. But for Nicole, it was more than a mission. It was how she lifted everyone's spirits. The days in Kuwait were brutal. Temperatures hit 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Sandstorms blinded everything. And the constant buzz of Iranian drones overhead served as a deadly reminder. Nicole lived in a tent, ate MRS, and slept in fits and starts. Yet she remained Mom Nicole to the whole unit. She'd tell classic Minnesota jokes, teach her buddies how to make salsa using the chili pepper she grew in small pots she'd brought along, or sit with young soldiers missing home and say, "Kids, this war, it's so pointless. We're here because of some order from higher up, because one distant leader died, then Iran hit back. And now we're hitting back again. Who's winning? Just sand, blood, and pain. But we're still here to look out for each other." She sent video messages home almost every day. On the evening of February 28th, just 3 days before she was due to leave, Nicole video called Joey and the kids. Her face looked exhausted, but still glowed under the dim yellow light of the makeshift container command center. "Joey, my love, Owen, Adeline, Mom's coming home soon. Just 3 more days. I'll hug you guys until you can't breathe. Owen, don't forget to pull out your math book. Mom will sit and check your work like old times. Adeline, draw me a picture. Sweetheart, I want to hang it in the greenhouse." Owen laughed on the screen. "Mom, don't forget to bring back some of those spicy Kuwait peppers I want. To make salsa with you?" Adeline chimed in. "You promised bike rides around the lake with me." "Right, and bedtime jokes every night." Joey looked at his wife, voice full of worry. "Be careful, babe. The news says things are heating up." Nicole winked, teasing like always. "I'm fine, honey. I'm the light around here. Today I patched up a burn on some Texas guy and told jokes until he was laughing his head off. This war, it's truly meaningless, but I'll be home. I love you and the kids so much. Good night." That was the last time they heard her laugh. On the morning of March 1st, 2026, at the temporary command center in Port Shuaiba, a civilian area with poor protection, just over 10 miles from the main base, Iranian suicide drones swarmed. Explosions shook the sky. Black smoke billowed. Nicole was treating a wounded comrade when the drone struck directly. She didn't run. She shouted, "Everyone stay calm. We're going to be okay. Evacuate." Right before shrapnel and fire engulfed everything, 6 people died instantly, including Nicole. She was just 3 days from going home. Back in White Bear Lake, Joey was making dinner when the doorbell rang at 7 p.m. 2 Army officers stood outside, faces ashen. Joey knew instantly. He collapsed to the floor, clutching his chest like his heart was shattering. Owen and Adeline ran out, saw their dad crying, then heard the cold words, "We're very sorry. Sergeant, First Class Nicole Amor has been killed in action." Adeline sobbed, "Where's Mom? She promised she'd come back." Owen stood frozen, his phone dropping the last text he'd sent her still unread. "Come home soon. Mom, I miss you." The days that followed were hell. The family received her posthumous promotion from sergeant, first class to master sergeant. Joey held the badge, tears streaming. She deserved so much more than this, yeah. All she wanted was to come home, grow vegetables, hug the kids, and live in peace. This meaningless war in the Middle East took everything. It started with one leader's death, then retaliation, then endless escalation. Innocent people died, not just American troops, but civilians in Iran, Iraq, Kuwait. For what power grabs arms sails? For us families left behind. The loss is forever. Nicole's flag-draped casket arrived at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware amid biting cold. The president and officials were there. But to Joey, it was all just ceremony. He held his kids close and whispered, "Your mom was a hero." But this war, it wasn't worth it. Thousands of families in the Middle East are crying just like us. Right now, why didn't we stop? The White Bear Lake community rallied. Hundreds lined the streets for the procession, bringing flowers and lighting candles. Joey decided to build a bigger greenhouse in her memory, a place to grow her beloved chilies, tomatoes, and vegetables. Owen, now 18, had to grow up overnight. "I'll study hard, Dad, to make Mom proud, but I hate this war. It's so pointless." Adeline still clutched the teddy bear her mom gave her, whispering every night, "Mommy, I miss your jokes." Why did the war take you away? Her surviving comrades sent letters. She was the light in the darkness, amid the desert and the drones. She kept saying this war is meaningless, but our love isn't. Keep living for the people back home. Nicole wasn't just a soldier. She was a loving wife, a devoted mom, a friend, a beacon. This senseless war in the Middle East, sparked by an airstrike. Then drone retaliation. Then endless escalation took her when she was only 3 days from holding her children. It brought no victory, only graves, broken promises, and haunting questions. How many lives is a war no one really wanted worth? Every night, Joey sits in the new greenhouse, looking at her photo, rereading old messages and telling himself Nicole chose love. Will keep going, carrying her light. And maybe one day the Middle East and the whole world will learn. That war has never been the answer. The Amor family's pain is real. And it's the most expensive reminder behind every senseless war are shattered families, smiles forever silenced.